Hey Avery, hope you get feeling better. It's Mr. Stewart, and I'm going to try to get you caught up in math with this one. So, we have been through 3.5 and 3.6 since you've been gone. The 3.5 and the 3.6 are very similar, so I'm going to teach you how to do the math for it, and it should be pretty easy. And then I'll go over a couple of like word problems that you'll see in the practice buddy. But the practice buddy for you is going to be a little different. I'm going to print it out, and then you can turn it into me whenever you come back. Anyways, I'm just going to show you how to do the algorithmic way to multiplying these numbers, and then I'll show you multiplying the place value to get the same result. Anyway, so with lesson 3.5 and lesson 3.6, you're going to multiply 3-digit numbers by 2-digit numbers. Which you're a very smart kid, and I know that you can understand this pretty easily. So I'm going to use the same math problem and show you two different ways to do it. So I'm going to do 892 times 18, and we're going to do it in the algorithmic fashion. Let's see if you can see that. Yes, okay. Anyway. So, we know that we have to start with the 8. 2 times 8, we know is 16. Carry the 1. 8 times 9, we know is 72. Add our additional 1 up here, making that 73. And then regroup our 7. We have 8 times 8, which we know is 64. And then we have to add 7 to 64 to account for the regroup. So 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71. So we can put that number right here. Now this is where you add your 0 or x, because we have to shift over a column because we're multiplying by a shifted over column. I prefer to write an x, so that's how I'm going to do it on the board. You can still use 0. Anyways, so now we're going to start with our 1s. Now we can do 1 times 2, which is 2. 1 times 9, which is 9, which is 9. And then 1 times 8, which is 8. So now you add what we have together to get the final answer. So we have 6 plus 0, 6. 3 plus 2, 5. 1 plus 9 is 10. Carry our 1. 7 plus 8, we know is 15. Adding 1 more makes it 16. So this has an answer of 16,056. Okay, so that's one way we skin the cat with the algorithmic function. 2, here's another way. I want to show you the second way to do it by place value, multiplying by place value. So we'll go ahead and start again with our 892 times 18. Exact same formula. Now this is a second resort option. I really would like to see algorithmic function versus by place value. You will get the same answer no matter what. This can always bail you out if you don't know your facts. Anyway, so we can start with 8 times 2. See, because this is 1's place. So this is going to be an 8 times the 10's place, so this will become 8 times 90. And this is 8 times 100's place, so this is 8 times 800. Okay, let's go ahead and start doing that now. 8 times 2 is 16. 8 times 90 is 720. And 8 times 800 is going to be 64. The 2 zeros making that 6,400. Anyway, I'm going to change the color to blue so we know that we're doing the second set of numbers. Now this one right here is 10 because the 1 is in the 10's place, so now everything's getting multiplied by 10. So we start 10 times 2 because the 2 is in the 1's place. That's 20. We have 10 times 90, which is 900. And then we do 10 times 800, which is 8,000. All right, if you're still with me, you end up adding all of these numbers. So you're gonna end up doing 8,000 plus 900 plus 20 plus 16 plus 720 plus 6,400. Now we just add our columns. 0 plus 0 plus 0 is 0. So we have 0 plus 6 is 6, and that's the other thing we have the first number here. 0 plus 0 is nothing, so 2 plus 1 is 3, 3 plus 2 is 5. All right, so now we have 9 plus 7, which is 16. 16 plus 4 will give us 20, so we regroup with the 2 there. We have 8 plus 6, which is 14. We have to add the additional 2, making it 16. See, we got the same result. We still have the same result of 16,056. We just did it in 2 different ways. You're a smart kid, I know you can handle that. All right, so let's talk about some, let me get the eraser out. Let's clear this. You can obviously stop the video anytime you need to go back and look. But let's take a look at some word problems you might see in the Practice Buddy. Okay, so here would be a problem that you would see. Let me bring the book. If you need to pause and read, that's totally okay. But 19 and 20 says, how many times does a rabbit beat in 1 hour? We know that 1 hour is 60 minutes, so we gotta find the rabbit in the chart. So rabbit is 212 beats per minute. Somebody have to do 212 times 60 to find out what it can do in an hour. So I'll go to the board, put it on red. 212 times 60 to figure out how much it would beat in 1 hour. So we have 0 times 2, which is 0. 0 times 1 is 0, and 0 times 2 is 0. Then we have to compensate with our x by shifting it over. We'll have 6 times 2, which is 12, carry the 1. 6 times 1 is 6, 1 more makes 7. And then 6 times 2 is 12. So we add this together. And that's how many times the rabbit's heart would beat in a minute. The second part of that problem says it says 1 hour. How many more times does a rabbit's heart beat than a dog's heart? So we're gonna keep our rabbit on the board and we're gonna find the dog. So now we're gonna do the dog, which is 100 times 60. And just like the previous lesson, we can use this to find out what the answer will be, because we know 6 times 1 is 6. And then count our zeros, 1, 2, 3. That's how many the final result will have in the zeros. So now we have to find the difference, which means we have to subtract. So we do 12,720 minus 6,000 to find the difference between the rabbit and the dog's heart speeds. So 0 minus 0 is 0, 2 minus 0 is 2, 7 minus 0 is 7. We can't do 2 minus 6, so we have to borrow. This becomes 12, this 1 becomes a 0, and 12 minus 6 is 6, saying that we have a final answer of 6,720. So that means a rabbit's heart beats 6,720 more times than the dog's in an hour. All right. So there's one more I want to explain that I've seen on the Practice Buddy of a few of the other students. Delete this. Basically, it deals with area. So area we know is length times width. So number 23, down here where my thumb is, it says Tricia is building a rectangular patio. The patio will be 108 bricks wide and 19 bricks long. How many bricks does she need to build the patio? So all you're doing is length and width here to find the amount of bricks. That's all you have to do. would be 108 times 19, because this is the length, this is your width, doesn't matter what order you do because you're doing multiplication. So now you start like we've been doing the whole time. 8 times 9, which is 72, carry the 7. 9 times 0 is 0, but 0 plus 7 is 7, and 9 times 1 is 9. Make sure we account for our 0 because we're shifting over a whole column to do 1. So, because the 1's in the tens place, we have to shift over. 1 times 8 is 8, 1 times 0 is 0, and 1 times 1 is 1. You're gonna find what our answer would be, so 2 plus 0 is 2. 7 plus 8 is 15. We have to carry our 1. 1 plus 9 is 10. Carry again. 1 plus 1 becomes 2. So there are 2,052 bricks to build the patio. All right. So I'm not going to reteach again how to multiply the 3-digit by 2-digit numbers because 3-6 Practice Buddy will be dealing with that as well. So we can just forego that again because you're just doing it over again. But we do need to take a look at some word problems that showed up. So on the Practice Buddy, number 19 and 20 showed up, and we need to find the total number of pages the students read by the end of November. Remember that Mr. Mello has 27 students. Okay, so we see this data chart here. Since it says to read by the end of November, we have to include September and October as well. We can't find the math just for November. We have to include all of it because it says by the end of November. So I'll show you how to find that on the board. All right, if we go back to the board, it says for September, they read 35 pages. For October, they read 38 pages. And for November, they read 35 pages. So now we need to add this up to see how many total pages one student read out of all 27, just to find that first. So we do 5 plus 8, which we know is 13. And we have to do 13 plus 5, which we know would become 18. Carry our 1. So 3 plus 3 is 6. This becomes 9. And we can't forget about our carried 1, this will become 10. So now we know that they read a total of 108 pages per one student. But Mr. Mello has 27 students. So we got to find out how many pages they read altogether, which is 8 times 7, 56. Carry the 5. 7 times 0 is 0. But we have to account for the extra 5 that we have brought over. So 7 times 0 is 0. 0 plus 5 is 5. And 7 times 1 is 7. Okay. We can scratch that 5 in case we need it for the 2. So now we have to add our 0. 2 times 8 is 16. Carry the 1. 2 times 0 is 0, but we have to add our extra 1, making it 1. And then 2 times 1 is 2. So then we add that together, which I'll put it over up here, the final answer, because we're running out of space here on the bottom. 6 plus 0 we know is 6. 5 plus 6 we know will be 11, but we have to carry our 1 here. So 2 plus 7 is 9, and 2 plus nothing is 2. So a total, all 27 students managed to read a total of 2,916 pages. All right, so that's how we find out number 19, which asks us to find the total number of pages read by the end of November by the entire class. So I need to keep that fresh in my brain for the next question, which says each student read 41 pages in December. So how many total pages do the students read by the end of December? So we still have to remember about our 2,916 to begin with. So I'm going to delete the board for the next one. So we already have 2,916 pages read. So now we have to find the total of December. Then we have to add the product of December and the students to what we already have to find the total amount read for that first half of the year. So we need to find out that they read 41 pages in December. Each student read 41 pages, and we have a total of 27 students. So you have 1 times 7, which is 7, 7 times 4, which is 28. Count for our 0, 2 times 1 is 2, and 2 times 4 is 8. So in December, the students read a total of 1,107 pages. We're not done there. We have to find out for the entire first half of the school year from September to December. We then have to add 2,916 plus 1,107 to find out that total amount. So 6 plus 7 we know is 13. Carry the 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. 9 plus 1 is 10, carry our 1. 1 plus 2 is 3, plus 1 more is 4. Why did it go red? Anyway, that really doesn't matter. But the students read a total of 4,023 pages from the time of September to November. All right, let's go ahead and delete that. Let's talk about our last word problem that we've seen in the Practice Buddy for 3-6, which is right here, this higher order thinking. So I'll read the problem and I'll tell you what we have to do to find out. Number 23 is right here. If you need to pause and read it, that's okay, but I'll read it anyway. Maria needs a trombone for only 12 months. Renting the trombone costs $34 per month. She can buy the trombone for $495. Should she buy or rent the trombone? Explain. How much does she pay? Okay. So first we got to find out how much it would cost to have the trombone for 12 months. So I'm going to go ahead and do that on the board. So it says $34 per month, and we know that she needs it for 12 months. 4 times 2 is 8. 2 times 3 is 6. Count for our 0. 1 times 4 is 4. And 3 times 1 is 3. Add these together. So we know at the end of this, if she rented that trombone, it would come out to be $408. Now we have to find which one would be the best option, which would be the cheaper option. So we have to do comparatives. So we're going to find out which way the alligator's mouth will go. And it says that she can buy the trombone for $495. So we know that $495 is bigger, so the mouth will eat that number. So we know that $408 is smaller than $495. $408 is cheaper, so that will be the better option if you're looking for cheaper options, which this person is doing. So we have to argue that $408 is less than $495, which checks out. So it would be a better option for her to rent financially. All right, so that really kind of concludes what we did for the past couple of days you have been here. I'm sorry that you're sick. I hope you get to feeling better, and we'll get the WebBucks things figured out, okay? I hope you have a great weekend. Try to get as much as you can done. So this is just math. I'll label this as math when I email your mom, but you know this. I'll get those practice buddies printed out for you. You'll be fine. You haven't missed much. But anyways, I hope you get feeling better, and I'll start making videos for the other subjects. Thank you.